This video is brought to you by StoneAgeGamer.com, a fantastic site for retro games, systems, accessories, and more. Be sure to check out StoneAgeGamer.com. Skip it up and that up. So this video I'm making as a public service announcement because I went around looking around YouTube on how to clean game cartridges just out of curiosity one evening, and everyone and their mother is giving horrible misinformation. Now, say some of you guys are, obviously you're watching this video, I'm sure you are into retro gaming. Maybe you're casually into retro gaming. You pull out your Genesis once every 2 years to play something better probably than Miss Pac-Man, even though it's a good game. And, you know, you go to the store, whether you go to eBay, whether you go to a flea market, whether you go to Amazon, mom and pop shop, and you pick up a game. You may pick up Miss Pac-Man, or you may pick up Monopoly, or Tetris 2. I don't really have uber winning games here right now, but they're good examples because I'm going to clean them. And you get these home and they look terrible. Even when you pick them up from mom and pop shops that swear they clean them. I know I have one around my area that I won't endorse anymore because now they're overpriced, their selection sucks, and it looks like they take the cartridges, put them up there, shove them up their ass for a day, leave them there, take them out, and don't clean them. It's like they add extra dirt just for the sake of adding extra dirt. But the games look terrible is the bottom line. And you obviously don't want to put a game that has dirty pins in your system. So you may go to the web and look around and look for videos. And of course, the first ones you're going to see are the ones with the most views. And I assure you that virtually all of those videos, at least the ones that I've seen, are giving you horrible misinformation. There was a video, I believe it has like 100 and something thousand views. And this guy's like, oh, I've been doing this for so long, and I'm going to show you the correct way to clean your pins, clean your cartridges. And he suggested rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol is a horrible, horrible thing to use. Why is that? Because rubbing alcohol is a mixture of isopropyl alcohol and glycerin, which is a lubricant. They combine those together and lubricant, that glycerin, will leave a film on your pins. You don't want to use rubbing alcohol. It is a horrible idea. Do not use rubbing alcohol. The second suggestion I see to use is Windex. And one guy said his defense for using Windex was that, oh, because it doesn't have a streak-free shine, that means it won't leave residue on your pins. Now, if you're in the pins of your cartridge, I mean to say, if you're in a pinch, okay. But even if you use this, you should actually put a little bit of water on a paper towel like I have here, and then rub off the pins after you use this, because this will leave residue too. I mean, I would use it before I would use rubbing alcohol, but I don't recommend this either. The only ones that if you like, say you're watching this and you run your own retro gaming shop business and you don't want to spend the man hours or spend your own time sitting there, because this is what the way I'm going to show you is actually kind of time consuming, especially if you have a lot of games and you just want to do a, no pun intended, quick and dirty game cleaning, even though I still recommend my way more so. Q-tips, and you get either denatured alcohol or straight isopropyl alcohol because they won't leave residue and it'll clean your pins way better. You don't want residue. You don't want anything left over. You just want to get rid of the dirt and oxidation. If you do it that way, okay, and you use denatured alcohol or you use isopropyl alcohol, a lot of guys, and I saw Classic Game Room you do this, Mark from Classic Game Room. I love you, dude, but you clean your games ass backwards. You should not do it this way. Okay, I hope he watches this video because he's going to end up damaging his systems too. He took Windex, sprayed it on a Q-tip, and just rubbed it in here real quick with the Q-tip. Didn't even let the game dry and put it right in the system. Oh, now it works. That is horrible. First off, when you have electricity and you have wet metal, you're going to end up destroying the electronics. You don't want to do that. That was the worst thing you could have did. If you do it with the isopropyl alcohol or denatured alcohol, you should, after you clean, even if you use a wet Q-tip, then you dry it with a dry Q-tip, there's still moisture in there. You should let the game dry before you put it in any game console. If you're really in a rush to play it, I would say 4 hours, but honestly, I would wait a whole 24 hours just to make sure it's dry. So if you don't want to do my method, which you're going to see in a minute, and is fairly time consuming, you want to do it with denatured alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, sure, go ahead and do it. It's still not far from the best way. But if you're going to do it, let your games dry for at least 4 hours. If not, my recommendation is a whole 24 hours. So what are you going to need to do this? Well, the first thing you're going to need is game bits. Okay, these you could find everywhere under God's Green Earth, on Amazon. You can find them on MCM Electronics. Those ones on MCM, though, I'll tell you, I'm going to have a link below. And as always, let people, I'm not endorsed by the company who makes these, and I'm not endorsed by Amazon, but I'm having a link to Amazon. These are fantastic. I have gone through very, please focus. I have gone through very crappy game bits. You need these to open up Super Nintendos, to open up Genesis cartridges, to open up Nintendo cartridges. You just need, they're good to get, and they give you both sizes that work on the systems and work on the cartridges themselves. They're fairly expensive for bits for a screwdriver, which obviously you're going to need to put them in here too. They're like $9.99, I believe, but these will last you forever. The other ones, you could get other ones for like $1 or $2. They're a black color, but they suck compared to these. Okay, you're going to go through like a lot of times they don't even work at all. And you're going to go through, honestly, like a pair of them almost every time. If you do get a pair that works, I should say, you're going to go through a pair of them like every other time you work on something because they end up stripping. And that's even if they work when you first get them. Spend a little extra money, $9.99 for both of these, and they'll last you forever. So let's clean a game, shall we? So first thing you're going to need. Now, this is about really cleaning the pins. Okay, I'm going to show you some other stuff too. But getting off, like say there's extra stickers and stuff like that, that's Goo Gone, so on and so forth. Now, a lot of the videos that gave misinformation about cleaning in here did give correct information about getting off extra like rental stickers on here. Maybe I'll make another video about that in the future, but this is more so for personal use and, you know, for the guys who are somewhat casual collectors who maybe if there's a sticker on here, it's okay, but they want to make sure the game works properly and it's not dirty with soda in it. It's going to damage their system. So let's put in, this is the smaller bit, right? Hold on one second. Nope, this is the bit I need. Let's put in our game bit. All right. And we unscrew. As you see, it works for... That was the other thing, too. Not only were my MCM bits bad, the black ones I had, it was like a 50-50 chance if they would actually take out the screws from the game cartridge or the console. Yeah, spend the extra money on these, please. And it'll end up saving you money in the long run because you don't have to keep on buying bits. So we're going to unscrew this. Okay. And I may show you all three cartridges so you can see how to seat the boards that have the game code on them and it's back in the cartridge. All right, there you go. And this is a newer NES cartridge, so it's not the 5 screw, it's only 3 screws. And they have this up on top. You take that off. Now, one thing I do recommend, so this, I guess you could say this is not completely chemical free, like I said on Facebook, is spray in here, this plastic area with Windex in the other side, because, you know, especially with the NES, back in the NES days, people were blowing in these. There's probably like 35 people's DNA right in here. Isn't that delicious to think about all that yummy spit? So spray in here. If you're going to clean it right. That's another thing too. When you use liquids or chemicals like denatured alcohol, this, God help you, use rubbing alcohol. If you don't clean in here properly, which you can do if the cartridge is open like this, you're just spreading around the spit and other shit. So it's kind of like, what's the point? You know, that stuff's not healthy for your system, and I'm sure you don't want to have that crap in there anyway. So anyway, enough of me rambling. So here's the board itself. The other side, like I said, I recommend that you clean it. There's a piece of broken plastic in there. Yummy. All right. So we'll put that aside, and I'll spray that in a minute. I'll spray the connector area in a minute. So here is the board for Monopoly. All right. The beauty about this too, I'll show you in a second, is you can't put this back in the wrong way. You don't have to worry about putting the board in the wrong way because these cartridges are designed, you can only put this back in one way. I'll show you that after I'm done cleaning. So here you have, actually the pins are not too bad, but they're oxidized. You see the black here? This is a pretty good, straightforward example because it's not dirt, it's just oxidized. So now another suggestion too, if there is any kind of liquid that dried on here, or anything like that, then okay. I'll give you spray it a little, or spray a paper towel first and rub off any kind of soda or other junk that's on there. Okay, then you dry it, and then you do what I'm about to show you. So what am I about to show you? Let me get to the point here. This is an eraser. This is the best way to get rid of oxidation off of pins or off of the gold on any kind of cartridge. As you see here, there's a little decent amount of oxidation on here. What I'm going to do, try to do it on camera without knocking over my camera, is you take your eraser and you rub. All right, take those pins there, up here too, because I'm sure there's dirt there. Sorry if my camera's jiggling. There's nothing really I could do about that. All right, and we'll do here too. It's kind of tough to do this on camera, but you're getting the point. And you rub across the pins. Okay, rub here. Rub here, and we'll take a look in a second. And you may want to go like this to make sure, because if you're rubbing flat on the pins, it leaves a residue sometimes. This removes that residue from the rubber. All right, and usually I have a brush with me. I forgot to get that brush. And what you do is you wipe off the pins with a paper towel or a brush. I recommend getting like a clean, obviously, paintbrush, and then make sure all the rubber's off the whole board. And there you go. Okay. Now you're going to still see, you may be like, Rich, I still see it's dark. And you see a piece of rubber right there. But as you see there, all you're seeing is you're not seeing that black anymore. All you're seeing is the wear from people putting the cartridge in the system. That is the best way. Okay, now there's no oxidation. Okay, the dirt's gone. There you will have a perfect connection. Okay, with your NES. All right, I'll clean the other side real quick. Show you again. Be mindful of any kind of capacitors or anything on the board for the game cartridge. All right. Trying to make, I mean, you get the point here. I'm just probably going to edit a lot of this out so you're not just sitting here watching me rub pins on a game cartridge. Like I said, this is why a lot of guys who run mom and pop shops, though, don't do this method, even though they know it's the proper one, because this is time consuming and time is money. But if you're a collector, or if you're actually a shop owner who gives a shit about their customer, this is the way you should do it. Because, let's see here again. Like I said, like a clean paintbrush, dry, would be the best way to get the rubber shards off. Let's see. Some here still. All right. You see that? All right, there was a decent amount of oxidation on there. Actually, there's some still over on this side. Hold on. Okay, you got to check them too, because like I said, this isn't as quick as we're putting a Q-tip in here real quick. And sometimes if the oxidation's heavy, it takes a while to come off. It may take a couple tries, but I'll do it again. Okay. Rub that clean. Rub that clean. Come on. That's why a brush is best. And there you go. It's gone. Those pins are perfect. Okay. So now when you put this in your NES, as long as your 72-pin connector is in good shape, you're not going to have any issues. Even if your 72-pin connector, because this is so clean now, it's just like when it's like a brand new cartridge, it may even still work. So especially if you have a shoddy set of 72-pin connector, which is touch and go, this is the absolute best way to do it, because the chances of your game working are now sky high. All right, so now I'll show you putting the game back in. Now the beauty of this is these cases are keyed. I'm putting it in the wrong side. Yes, I am. Okay. All right, these cases are keyed, so you can't put it in the wrong way, and then you could damage your system because the motherboard's not in the right way, and it could short out your system and all that. It's keyed. You can't. It's so because I know a lot of people are going to get intimidated, understandably, by that, because if you haven't done this before, you may think, oh crap, am I putting this in the right way? If I put this in my system, it may short something out. You don't have to worry about it. Same thing goes with Sega. Same thing goes with the Super Nintendo. The plastic is keyed, as long as this isn't damaged. The plastic is keyed to make sure the board for the game goes back in the right way. So it's worry-free, all right? So I'm not going to put this back together completely. I'll put this on top here. You know how to screw screws back in. So we'll put that to the side. This game is clean. Ta-da, all right? Now, let's go on to a Sega game. Now, these games use the larger bit, the larger game bit, right? Yes, they do. Let me put that one in there. Actually, a lot of times, too, another recommendation I have, because some of these, because they're older, too, the plastic gets a little brittle. A lot of times, I recommend, because these bits are long anyway, and they have a lot of torque right on the bit, unscrew them without the screwdriver if you can. If you can't, the screw's too tight, then you grab your screwdriver for the extra leverage and you put the game bit in it. But if you don't have to, don't, because it decreases significantly the chances of you stripping the plastic here and the screw not being able to go back in. So if you don't have to, just use the bit and unscrew it that way. So I'll do it again here. Oh my lord, there you go. That one was almost too tight and I had to almost get the screwdriver and put the bit in there. Take that out. And let's see what Miss Pac-Man looks like. I know it's clean because I cleaned it before. But there you go. So I'll pretend to clean it again. And it's the same thing. Go with the eraser. I like going like this instead of like this, like I said before. Go with that because it doesn't leave any residue. When you have a rubber eraser like this and you go flat, it leaves residue. Go like this across and it doesn't leave residue on the pins. And once again, I'll just do it and do it until you don't see any oxidation on the cartridge pins. Rinse and repeat. Sometimes it only takes, like this game has virtually none on there, so I'm probably already done. So let me move these screws over to the side so they can fly across the kitchen. And I'll wipe. And boom. There you go. Come on. Got too much light there. See? So what you would do is say you had a dirtier game or a game with more oxidation, you keep going, you know, and make sure you get all the pins. A lot of time, even I do it, it's a bad habit where you rub and you kind of do mostly in the center and the side pins here and the side pins here still have oxidation. You know, the game console needs access to all these pins to run properly, so you got to make sure all the oxidation is off. I know this side is clean. Boom, there you go. Pretend I cleaned the whole game. I already know this game is clean. Again, the Monopoly game was clean. I recommend, I don't need to do it here because I already did it, spray here with Windex because like I said, you probably have the spit and DNA from like 35 people in there on both sides. Dry it, make sure it's bone dry, then you put the board back in. That's another thing, like I said before, it's much easier to clean here if you actually open up the cartridge. So it may take a little extra time, all you guys who run these mom and pop retro shops, but sometimes putting a little extra effort in for the consumer is a good thing. That's just my opinion, but anyway. So let's put this back in here. Like I said again, too, another thing I want to show. You can't put this in the wrong way. It's keyed, so you have nothing to worry about. See? You really key. It'll seat. I mean, it's not as obvious with the Genesis, but there, it seats properly, doesn't move. You put it in this way. It's not the right way. Flops all over and it's not even. See? So it won't let you put it in the wrong way. So there's nothing to worry about with that. So again, we're going to put this here. Put it back together. This one will show me putting it back together just so you see. All right, pop the screws in. And like I said before, if you can, I recommend that if you don't have to use the bit in an actual screwdriver, you know, it's giving me a, see? Now, I felt extra tension there that shouldn't have been there. If this bit was in a screwdriver where I had the extra leverage, I may have not felt that, and it would have stripped, excuse me, that screw hole. That's why, if you can, just use the bit. That's another reason why I like these bits, because they have very long shafts. That's what she said. Anyway, but you get my point. See, if I had that in this screwdriver, I may have not felt that, and that would have been a big problem, because then the screw would have stripped, and I wouldn't be able to put it in. So, there you go. Nice and clean. Now let's go on to a Super Nintendo game, so you guys could see. These are all pretty much the same. All right. Move this out of the way. I believe because this is Nintendo, it's going to use the smaller bits. Yep. All right. So you get the smaller game bit. Like I said, if you order these off of Amazon, I'll have the link below. It'll come with both, so you have nothing to worry about. You know you'll be ready, whether you get a Sega game or a Genesis game, or Sega game or Super Nintendo game, excuse me. So we pop this open. Again, I didn't need to use the actual screwdriver. Let me put this bit in here so I don't lose it. Got the other screw right here. I don't know if you can see, it doesn't really matter. You get the point. This one's giving me no trouble whatsoever, which is pretty cool. All right, we got our screws there over to the side. Now, all it does is pop right off. And this is going to be a good example too, because these pins are, they got some good oxidation on them. No dirt here, even though I still recommend to clean here with Windex and then dry it, because again, spit, dirt, soda, whatever else, nothing's there. But these pins have good oxidation, so this will be a good example. I'll show you. If the light's too bright. But you see it. See that? Where it's kind of black? That's not dirt, that's oxidation on the gold pins. And we're going to rub that off right now. So use the, go horizontal across the pins and hold the eraser vertical, not horizontal. Okay. And I'm going to really go at it here. Sorry if the camera's jiggling. We're going to rub off a little more time across them. Yep, like I said, this is not super easy. And like I said, I recommend like some kind of paintbrush, but see, because it's much easier to get off any kind of rubber shards. But see the difference? See in the reflection that you're seeing just the wear from it being plugged into the cartridge. See how much cleaner those pins are? Night and day difference. No chemicals, and this is going to work perfectly. There's way more of a chance. It's guaranteed to work this way, and the chance is much higher that it's going to work this way than using any kind of chemical. I promise you. I'll do the other side. See the difference here? We'll do this as the before. See how all the oxidation? No oxidation. Oxidation. No oxidation. Let me clean the other side. You can go as hard as you want to. You're not going to, I mean, just make sure, be careful, like you see transistors and capacitors and all that stuff here. Make sure that, you know, you're not pressing hard on them. But there's nothing on the other side of the board. So nothing to worry about. And just go across. Make sure you get all the pins in the center, on the side. It's tougher to get the ones on the side because your eraser keeps falling off. But, all right, so now I'm going to wipe off the rubber shards on both sides. Yep, they're clean. And now take a look at those pins. See the difference? They're perfectly clean. Only difference you're seeing in color now. You're not seeing that black, you're seeing the wear. Night and day difference. This is the way cartridges are supposed to be cleaned. This is the best way to do it. I don't know why I have not seen another YouTube video personally. There may be one out there. Guess it's not too popular showing this way. But if you want your game cartridges to, one, be totally clean and work perfectly and not have anything to damage your system in them, this is the way to go about it. All right, guys, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. Hope this video was helpful for you. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Have a good one.